What is going on?
What's up?
So this is the Devil's Dice podcast. This is our first one we're going to do for you guys. Mostly just kind of an introduction to us, and then we'll BS a little bit. But this is Black Tim. I'm Dropkick Mike. We worked together on a former podcast for a few years, Double Barrel Brothers. Yeah, and unfortunately, our other partner, our third co-host, had some health issues, and he's kind of like focusing on family and kind of getting his head right. So we decided to take on another project, and best wishes to Drew. Yep, and we hope you, the gorilla, we hope you heal up and get better quick, my brother. How you been, man?
Man, I'm all right, man. What about you?
We haven't really talked like a whole ton since we stopped doing the cast, other than talking about starting a new cast.
Yeah, that's it.
So
it's been about it.
It's been crazy.
Yeah.
Like 2022, dude, we thought it was all going to be roses, and how could it get any worse than back when COVID was going on? And now we're looking at madness still.
And it got worse.
Didn't it?
It got worse, man.
It did.
The kids miss your donuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah, because I had to come over and work out in your garage, because he's got his whole garage is a gym. So I had to go over there and work out in his garage because the gyms were all closed.
Yeah.
Which makes zero sense, right? All the healthy people that weren't being affected by COVID. Did you get COVID? Did you catch it?
Yeah, I ended up getting it. Really.
Did you?
Yeah.
You got it bad?
Yeah, end of last year.
Really?
Yeah.
What did it do to you?
COVID pneumonia. I ended up with every symptom. Almost died, basically. I was found suffocating. Had to get rushed to the hospital. Had the monoclonal antibodies. Then after that, I recovered, man. It took me a while to recover, actually. I won't say I've been okay ever since, because it's almost been a year now. And
Why did I not hear about this?
I'm just now getting back to normal, roughly. I didn't say much to anybody about anything. You know me, man.
Yeah, but
I could be laying over here dying, and I'm like, oh, no. Just go give me a glass of water.
You got to let me know when stuff like that's going on, man.
I'm like, don't call the ambulance.
I got to get in your garage and start tagging stuff that I want when you go. This goes to Mike. This goes to Mike.
I'll write your name. Just sign it. They'll already know. Just send it to Mike's house.
Just in honor of you, of course.
Yeah.
Not to be disrespectful at all. Just in honor.
I have to carry on the dream.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I mean, it got pretty bad, though, but things have been, I will say this, and it's just my own personal perspective on this one. And I've spoken to, a small handful of people about it. I feel like, and it's going to sound crazy, but it is what it is. I'm crazy. I feel like some parts of my DNA changed from.
Do you really?
Yeah, I do, man. I just don't feel like I've ever been the same since I had COVID.
I will 100% agree with you on that. I had it too. I had it a couple of times.
Okay.
And luckily I didn't get affected by it too bad.
Yeah.
And I didn't do monoclonal antibodies or any of that stuff. I didn't do anything. I just kind of wrote it out.
Yeah.
Just to see, because it was for me, it was kind of mild.
Yeah.
It was like a flu. Yeah. It was kind of like a flu. I was down for a couple of days, but then I was right back up.
Yeah. Going
and doing shit, just hydrating and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I ever since then, I've been getting sick more and more. Yeah. Like I used to never get sick.
Yeah. Well, you know what, man, I spoke to a buddy of mine. We served together, man, and he actually made a comment. I don't just hearsay for now, but he made a comment that of course with viruses it could kind of alter your body ultimately. He said, but because I just found out recently, that I have all these new allergies that I never had.
That's right. You took one of those tests.
Yeah, I took a test. I got like all these crazy allergies that stuff I've been eating my entire, whatever the case may be. And I'm just like, man, that's odd. He said, man, you know what? There is a chance that, maybe that virus brought some things up.
True.
That would have never been there otherwise.
True.
You know what I mean? So it's like I've cut a whole bunch of stuff out of my diet, just to not feel like I'm always sick or I'm waking up, choking in my sleep and all this other crazy stuff. So, man, I'm just constantly trying to work on recovering, of course, while finishing school and everything. The 1,000 other things I'm doing.
Right.
We'll get there.
So Black Tim's got his own business. He's a personal trainer, massage therapist, physical therapist. What else?
Whatever therapist.
Yeah, whatever you need. If it's got to do with your body, he probably can take care of it. Whatever it is you need. So hit us up if you are in the Colorado Springs area or surrounding areas, and let us know if you need Tim.
Yeah, man.
Tim can hook you up, man.
How's life been for you, man?
Crazy.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, it's good, man. I have nothing to complain about, man.
Yeah.
Especially lately, like everything's been going really well for me. The new job's working out fine. It's a commute, and it's costing me hell in gas money. So now I got to buy a different car because I can't drive that truck. That I get like a solid 12.2 miles to the gallon in that pickup truck. And driving up to Monument's killing me. But no, the job's going good. We got a new member of the family, Hank.
Oh yeah.
He's around. He's a personality. He kills me half the time, and then just makes me like when they look at you, when the dog looks at you, like, dude, you're the only one I love. I love you more than anything. I love you more than I love myself. And so, but he's cool. And then the family's doing really well. Lucian's killing it in school. Yeah. Tynan's been coming back in the gym, doing some Muay Thai with me. Yeah. Jessica's been coming in and training some Muay Thai, some stand up. And so, yeah, man, I got nothing to complain about. Yeah, things are good. Yeah. Things are good. You? Good. Everything else as far as
good, man. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's, doing great.
That's
ready
good
for the next school year. And we're just keeping it moving, man.
Yeah, it's almost here. Yeah. Kids are almost back in.
Yeah.
It's craziness.
Yeah. I'm like, ooh, I can't wait. Moms are always like, oh, no, I don't want my baby to go. I'm like, oh, we got about 4 more years.
I'm ready too, man.
I'll see you later.
Well, we're going to move. I think we're going to move somewhere out east, like the Carolinas or Georgia or something. Yeah, you know what I mean? Have you ever lived out there?
Other than being from Mississippi, no, man.
No.
Yeah, not that far out.
Yeah.
Mississippi, Tennessee. I've been to Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas. I've been to all of those surrounding states, Alabama, Florida. No, remove Florida. Florida is its own nation, just like Texas is.
It is.
We're going to go ahead and confirm that argument.
Anybody
that wants to try it. Texas and Florida.
I love Florida.
I love it too, man.
I love Florida.
It's nice down there.
Texas, I don't know. I haven't spent enough time there. So
I tell you what, man. I visited. I went down because I have some family down there now. This was last August, right before I got sick, actually, man. And I went down. The previous summer, I think we drove up and down California, went to San Fran, went to LA, Santa Maria, Santa Barbara, all these places. And I'm like, man, it's jam packed, but people pretty chill how they drive. Oh, I went to Texas. Oh, okay. I'm sitting at a stoplight and it's, 3 lanes on just like a main road, turn lane, jam packed. Guy behind me in a truck drives up, the lifted medians.
Yeah.
He drives up this thing. The truck is sideways.
Yeah.
So he doesn't miss this turn light. And I'm like,
that's aggressive. I like it.
I'm like, y'all not playing.
I like it.
Yeah. So Texas, that's a whole different animal. So when people say, oh, I don't like how people in Colorado drive and Californians, I'm like, go to Texas.
Yeah.
Go down to Texas.
But see, I'm okay with that. If you want to jump the median and go around me, that's fine. If
I'll get out of your way.
Yeah. Like I can't stand Colorado drivers.
Just like that we've been talking about this for 3 years, Mike. Far left lane.
Oh,
that lane is meant for those who are ready to risk their life, their driver's license.
Break the law legitimately.
They legitimately want to break the law. If you're in the middle lane, go the speed limit. That right lane is for merging. It's also a speeding lane until you get on. Please don't get in that far right lane and get on the freeway and just I'm gonna slow all the way.
But I thought that's what it was for. I thought the right lane was the slow lane.
Well, no, that's on the highway. But when you got a median coming up, that's like, it's basically like a charge up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and a lot of people, I think they miss that concept. But
there's so many things I could bitch about when it comes to driving out here.
It's all good.
But my blood pressure will go up, and I'll get all fired up.
This is a chill podcast, by the way. You know what? We're gonna talk a little crap, but this is a pretty dope. We accept you all podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is kind of an introduction of us to you guys. Yeah. Just to let you know, like we're going to have guests on from all facets. We are fans of MMA and martial arts, so we'll have some athletes on. Hopefully some bigger names that come out of the UFC we'll have on at some point. Anything UFOs, anything interesting, stuff that's just fun to talk about. So there's nothing really that we're not willing to talk about. So if you want to be a guest, hit us up on Instagram.
Let us know. Absolutely.
Devil's Dice, the podcast. We're on Facebook, Instagram, or you can email us too. Devil's Dice, the podcast @gmail.com.
Yep. So we love guns too. I'm not going to leave that out.
Advocate.
I definitely love guns. I grew up. My hometown sent a lot of NFL players to the league, and we'll see if we can try to get some of those guys on there. I actually have extended family who just sent someone to the Phillies.
Nice
baseball team.
Nice.
He went straight from high school, man, and So yeah, man, we'll definitely try to get a bunch of people on here.
Yeah. If you got an interesting story or anything you want to talk about, come on, man. Let me know. Hit us up because we're going to do this once a week.
Yeah.
So every Sunday we'll record and then probably out first thing on Monday morning, if not Sunday night.
Oh, also, I wanted to throw this in here. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
If you guys actually want to see somebody on here, let us know because I will harass the living hell out of them to try to get them on here.
That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
Comedians, anything, actors, whatever. We'll do it all. And we're going to improve constantly and get this set up even better and better every time. But yeah, we'll have fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You were talking about speaking of guns, since you brought that up, you were talking about a new law that passed in Colorado or something the other day that I haven't heard about yet.
Let me see if I can find it.
Is it legitimately going to affect us hardcore, or is it one of those ones where it's kind of we passed the law, but it's not really to appease the people?
It actually, I think it was a new bill that just passed nationwide. House passes bill banning certain semi-automatic guns is what it was. I think it was yesterday, actually.
Yesterday?
Yeah, this was yesterday.
Well, so what
Friday. Yeah.
What semi-automatics are they looking at?
I haven't read that far down into it, but
because it's so funny when politicians or lawmakers or anybody that's wants to distract or do anything, they start bringing up guns, right? So we've got all of these, what they're calling, if you watch the news, it's hilarious because they're calling everything 3 people or more is a mass shooting now, and they'll point out every single shooting that involved 3 people, whether they died or not. They're gonna point it out. Oh, that's my favorite chick.
Yeah,
she's my favorite. Old Nancy. I love Nancy.
Yeah. So I saw a bunch of comments kind of floating around, people being funny, saying, "Oh man, she was sober enough to do X, Y, Z." Because I'm not crazy about following politicians. You know what I mean? I am. My view on America, man.
Yeah,
it has always been for the people and about the people. I personally think too many people have given away too much power.
I think we've all given away too much power
for comfort. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of it has been masked as security or protection. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's always been our job, because I know for you and me, we grew up in a time where neighborhood watch was a thing, but it's not as popular anymore because you have a lot of
it's labeled vigilantism now.
Yeah.
Anything you do to try to advocate for yourself or protect yourself is an aggressive posture.
Yeah.
Everybody that's it's such a weird world that we live in compared to what you and I grew up in.
It's very different.
And I'm way older than you. I'm like almost 20 years older than you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But Mississippi was still 20 years behind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love my state, man. Don't get me wrong, but we've always been behind on the times and the curve. You know what I mean? So when the rest of the world was doing XYZ, we were still kind of lingering because they never had the funding or information or, you know what I mean, the resources more so to get all of that information in like the rest of the world. So there was never a demand, so to say.
Well, plus in a lot of those southern states, they kind of like being in that pocket.
They like being in that pocket and in that old school mindset, but that's not progressive with the rest of the United States. You know what I mean?
Which, to be honest with you, the way it's going, let's go ahead and stop progressing. Then, if this is where we're heading, let's chill out a little bit.
Yeah. So the House passes legislation Friday to revive a ban on certain semi-automatic guns, the first vote of its kind in years, in direct response to the firearms often used in the crush of mass shootings ripping through communities nationwide. So. And I mean, I've kind of looked into it, and I didn't even realize this for a long time, man. But most of the mass shootings is considered, I think it's 2 to 3 people or more is considered a mass shooting.
From what I heard, they're saying 3 or more.
Yeah, 3 or more. And of course, nobody, us law-abiding citizens, don't wake up and just think, oh, I just want to go out and shoot somebody.
Right.
Because me and you've had this conversation millions of times, man, about, we wish it could be the old school way, because gun was like growing up the way we did, guns were like that last resort type situation. And it wasn't, oh, you just beat me up, so I'm going to go grab my pistol now. No, that gun was meant to be in the house or for hunting or for if someone broke into your home or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You beat me up today, guess what? That's cool.
I took an ass whooping.
I'm gonna avoid you for a while, but we're gonna keep fighting until I at least get either win one or get close to winning one.
Either that or we become buddies.
Or we just gonna become best friends.
You know what I mean? We just traded leather.
Yeah, exactly. It's just that simple.
We spilled each other's blood. We're good.
It was never to this extent. You know what I mean? So,
it's all political, man. There's always an agenda, and it's always a distraction.
Yeah,
you know,
smoke screens.
If you look at every, and unfortunately, and you know, it's gonna come off, and a lot of people are gonna look at us and go, "Oh yeah, far right wing extremists." That's not true at all. There's a lot of stuff on the right that I don't agree with. There's a lot of stuff on the left that I do agree with. Yep. So it's just kind of common sense and intelligence, I think, is where we need to land nowadays.
Yeah.
But no, I think, and I totally forgot my point. On where I was going with it, but yeah, no, I think that it's politically every 4 years or every time a Democrat wins the presidency, there's something that happens as far as whether it's economically, you know, the economy is in the shitter right now, so we got to blame Russia, we got to blame the war in Ukraine, we got to distract with gun violence and just put it on the news. And if you watch the news, it's crazy. It's so like I've been staying away from it for a couple of years now, just because of the political shit. But watched it like over the last couple of weeks again, and it's nothing. There's nothing positive on there. It's all negativity.
Well, you know, I talked to a handful of people. I'm not sure I had a chance to talk to you about this, but I was super confused because just like when the Will Smith Chris Rock situation happened, right?
God, ridiculous.
There were people reporting, man, that was crazy within itself. I don't partake in a lot of that stuff. So when people send it to me, I might just like open it.
Yeah.
You know, Instagram shows the scene.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. But I was listening to something, and I think it was XM Radio actually, and they went over and did interviews in the middle of the Ukraine war, and they said they had dialed down the war because everyone was more concerned with why Will Smith would slap Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, you're in a nation fighting for your home, and you guys don't care because a celebrity slapped another celebrity. That is confusing to me.
But
you know I mean?
But it's not really. And
it's not,
and I can explain it. You understand.
Yeah, I know it, but I'm just like at the top level though. I'm like, logically it makes sense, but at the top level, I'm just like, you're supposed to be fighting for your home. You know what I mean? And so I think this was. I want to backtrack. I think it was 2019 because you made a comment. And I want to make this very clear because I know people are like, "Oh, you must be."
Yeah, labeling.
Let me go ahead and stop.
Which, by the way, is why we call you Black Tim, because you know we got to label you.
That's why I love it. Honestly, I do. But I was in Vegas, man, and I was visiting family because I had family out there, and I remember being in this gym, and this lady said, "You know, I'm gonna show you how slow I am." Too, I'm a little off sometimes, man. This woman says to me, "Well, what side do you support?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And she said, "Are you left or right?" I said, "I'm neither. I don't care about all of that." She said, "Well, you have to." I said, "I don't have to do anything." And she said, "Well, what's your view on everything?" I said, "Well, look, I feel that we're in a nation of freedom."
Yeah.
Okay. You have veterans who've laid their lives down. You have people serving every day to make this nation free, which includes guns, however you choose to look at it. I said, but at the end of the day, I want everyone to have the same opportunity to get up and go out and work, make the money that they want to make,
right?
No restrictions. Cut down on all these extra taxes that they have because it's basically just filling pockets of people making bad decisions, in my opinion. And just let them live life. She said, "Well, you're a liberal." I said, "Really?" I said, "What's a liberal?" I've heard the term, but I've never.
Sure.
I didn't care to look into it.
What's your definition?
Yeah. She said, yeah, and she was like, "Well, you know, everybody, all world, da 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 da." I said, "Absolutely, yeah. Everybody should have the right, so on and so forth, etc. People with illnesses, get them the help that they need. People with medical issues, get them the help that they need, so on and so forth." I said, but just because I include everyone don't mean that I think everyone saying I should throw my guns away makes me throw my guns away. And she was like, "Oh, that's kind of confusing." I said, "Why?" And I had never heard this before. She said, "Well, most liberals aren't crazy about guns." I was like, "Is that really a thing?" And I'm just like completely like I'm flabbergasted over here. And then I had another lady, and I think I shared this with you during COVID. She said, "Well, what side do you stand? She said, what side are you? And I said, I'm left-brained. And she said, what? I said, left-brained, creativity, art, love for nature, love for the sportsmanship of firearms training, competitive shooting, the sportsmanship in any type of sport, MMA, football, people being able to freely express themselves in whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
That was my response to her. She said, oh, no, honey. And she's like 60-something. I'm over here completely lost. She said, left wing or right wing, like political stance. And I was like, oh, I don't care about all of that. And she was like, same thing. Well, you have to. And I said, why? Why am I in a position where, or trying to be made to be in a position where I have to choose some side? Why can't I stand where everyone wins when there's an opportunity for everyone to win?
It's simple mindedness, Tim. You know this.
Yeah,
you already know this. Like we understand that you can have an opinion on one side and then also share an opinion on the other side, right?
Yeah.
And we are labeled in a way where if you are pro gun, then you got to be to the right, right? Yeah. But that's what the simple minds think, is that they're so influenced by what's on that little screen and what's on the television and what's on this damn thing that's in your pocket all day long. It's one of those things where there really is. It's the left or the right is all you're hearing. It's either Fox News or CNN. What do you want to do? And there's a large majority, and I think there is a silent majority, obviously, of people that don't play that game.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, those are the quiet ones.
Yeah.
If everybody that stayed in the middle or just had opinions both ways and didn't really care one way or the other, if you're forcing me to choose, I'll choose. I'll tell you exactly which way I lean more towards. Yeah. But I'm not going to say that I'm 100% right wing, that I'm 100% conservative or anything like that, because there's things I don't agree. Like this Roe versus Wade turned over. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Ever,
right?
Ever.
Like, now our constitutional rights, which is this is one step, right?
One other step.
Right.
Yep. One other step.
Now you're letting that slippery slope just get steeper and steeper, because now your constitutional right for abortion has been taken away.
Yeah.
You no longer have the right to say what you can do with your body.
Yeah.
Now that's just one more step. And that all stemmed from, I really believe it was made a lot easier because it stemmed from the COVID thing.
Yeah.
The government is going to decide what you do with your health. We're going to tell you to put on a mask, and if you don't, then you're trying to kill people. You're right. They're influencing people to have these opinions. Yeah. But then they come out and go, oh, it's not, we found out it's not really effective against COVID, but we're might implement it again anyway. When they start playing games with you and puppeteering you, and your strings are being pulled and you're going along with it, of course that's going to happen, right? So now a constitutional right for your body, your personal body, right? Women should be able to decide whatever the hell they want to do. By the way, that's my opinion, okay? I don't think anybody has a right to tell you what to do with your body. I think that, and whether it's the father, anybody, that's your body, leave it alone.
Absolutely. And on that topic, bro, and I'm glad you brought that up, because this was one of those cases that popped up where a woman almost died from an ectopic pregnancy because she wasn't allowed to have an abortion.
Yeah.
Just that fact. And there's been cases all over the U.S. already that have not been reported. That's another one of those things.
And it won't be.
It won't be.
Right.
Because it's this, we have to push this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just, it goes back to my thing of, and I still stand here, and you know me, man. I want to see the logic and rationale in everything. It's so easy for us, and I'm guilty of it. I'm human. Sometimes we do let emotion get in the way of how we should clearly think.
Right.
Yet on the same page, if you tell me I have to be forced in a position to where I have to pick a side, I still end up standing alone. You know what I mean? Because it's like, there are a lot of things on the left that I like. There are a lot of things on the right that I like. So, and this is the one that a lot of people can't stand. What happened if we just did away with the parties? Then what?
Yeah, that like it used to be.
Then what? And people are like, well, that would never work. Well, it did, actually. That's how the nation was formed.
Yeah.
Because everyone kept going, no matter how many hours it was, until we came to some common ground. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no,
you know
absolutely.
And a lot of people are like, well, that never happened. And I'm like, but it
But it did
though.
and it worked.
A lot of people, fun fact for you guys. Go look it up. I don't know if Google still has it because they started removing stuff. I think there were about, I want to say 14 to 16 standing office presidents before George Washington. And that's how they used to make things roll.
Oh.
Whoever they wanted to elect, they put them in. It was whoever the person who had a sense of bringing everything to the best common ground.
So yeah, the people just voted on actual on their stance politically,
their stance,
not their not their
emotion.
affiliation.
Yeah, exactly. It had nothing to do with an affiliation. It was like, how do we make, because we didn't want to be over here anymore, so we want to come over here and make it better. How do we do this better?
But see, I think that's where the evolution kind of went backwards. Right, because it started. It started. Okay, we get it. Let's Supreme Court. We got the SCOTUS. You got all this stuff. But now all of a sudden, you're either a Republican or a Democrat. A Libertarian can't run. They're not even on the ballot.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. There's no debate with a Libertarian in there. Like at some point during that whole election process, everyone who is not either affiliated with the Republican Party or the Democratic Party gets eliminated from the race.
Now think about that. Right.
Right. Independents, no way.
But we want to be. Now here's another one. I know it's touchy, but we want to be equal, right? So why not create these other categories? Why not create them?
Because then all of that money,
you see what I mean? Yeah. It's too much going on now.
And
now they're like, oh no, we don't like this. So, and that's just the thing. And that's, again, of course, we both know the answer, but that's why oftentimes I get confused, because I'm like, wait, every human on this planet to some degree is smart. To some degree. Okay, you have a thinking brain, right?
Whether you use it or not, it's another story.
Totally up to you. But it's like you've seen this.
Yeah,
you know it's possible.
Yeah,
but you choose to ignore it because it's easier for someone else to influence your emotional response based upon what they say.
Yeah.
It's one of those tricky things.
I really think that it's, and I've heard people talk about it too, the Great Reset and all that stuff that's about to go down, just because, there is somebody out there watching us. I guarantee it. We could have a whole podcast about that alone, but there's somebody out there watching us going, these guys are getting ready to just end themselves. They're getting ready to just blow everything up and be done. So, but no, it's crazy to me. Politics, tired of it. COVID, tired of it. Ready to move on, man. Can we go back to the 80s and just wear some bright ass colors and checkerboard shit and dance all the time and listen to good music? That really isn't that good. Nobody cared about Boy George being gay or that he dressed like a girl. He put out some good music, man. Prince, nobody talked about that. But now it's you would have to pick the right pronoun for Prince or Boy George or whatever. It's crazy. The sensitivity level of Americans has gone through the roof, and it's sad. It's disgusting, actually.
Yeah, man.
I don't like it.
It's nuts, man.
Well, and I don't think that it's the majority either.
No, I don't think it is either.
I think the ones that are crying about everything and complaining are just the loudest ones. But I really don't think that that's the way we go. But when you're loud, people use you for a speaker, right?
Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Right. Every time. So that you're going to get that attention. You're going to get all of that. So. It is what it is. But
man.
We could go on about everything all day today.
I do want to do this real quick.
What is this?
I think this was this morning that I saw this, man. I want to shout out to this gentleman. First black 4-star general from the Marines, man.
Nice. In 246 years.
Lieutenant General Michael Langley.
Nice.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I saw that this morning. I was like, yo, that's dope.
How do you feel? And I know that this is a sensitive topic, and we've talked about it before, but and hell yes, absolutely, right? Yeah. Is he oppressed?
No.
You think he went through oppression? Do you think he had some adversity?
Oh yeah, he has some. Yeah.
Do you think he blamed it on racism or anything like that, or did he just keep fighting for what he wanted and got there?
I'll say this, man. Whether he blamed it on that or not, he didn't let that idea and that narrative control him. Whether he blamed it internally, whether he went into a room and screamed out loud, he didn't let that stop this right here.
He doesn't look look like somebody that's just going to let somebody else say
what he gets to do.
Right.
And I don't I can't personally speak for Marines. I just have a lot of buddies who I'm telling you, man, they some crayon carriers, man. Let me tell you. These dudes, if you catch one of them complaining, something is seriously
right.
twisted inside out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not to say, hey, fellas, if y'all going through it, please speak out.
Absolutely.
I'm not against that. But you can't tell me this man is becoming a 4-star general without hard work, adversity, dealing with a lot of BS, and keeping it moving.
Yeah.
You can't convince me of that.
He don't make excuses. I guarantee you, he does not make excuses.
He'll find another way.
Exactly.
He finds another way.
And obviously did. Good for him.
Clearly. You know what I mean?
But and there's so many extremes on it. I was watching the other day, when I was watching the news in the morning, there was actually a $25 million lawsuit filed by a black family for against Disney, because they were at a parade and the characters that were dressed up, the guys that are running around in the outfits dressed up like whatever characters and all that stuff. Yeah. The parents claimed that the characters would not high five their children walking down the parade because they were black. Right. So this guy's got his kids, and the people in the suits are clearly trying to reach out to everybody and wave to everybody. They're not going to high five and touch everybody. And besides that, nowadays, are you even willing to go up to somebody's kid and high five them and touch them and do anything to them? Man. Not with the sensitivity that's nowadays, right? You can't just go up and do things. Back in the day, if somebody's kid was in the restaurant mouthing off or running around acting a fool, somebody from booth over there that you didn't even know would grab your kid and tell them to shut up, calm down. You're in a restaurant, act right. Now you can't.
Simple.
Right. Now you can't do anything, right? Because they're going to blame you for something. But yeah. And that still exists. I think that the racism and the oppression still exists in people's minds. Oh. Yes, there it is. There it is. So see, the two little girls are reaching out to try to da-da-da-da-da, and he happens to be talking to someone else that's down on the other side. Mm-hmm. And these people can't see this outfit. Yeah. This mouth thing comes out to here. Yeah. He cannot see these small children right in front of him. And if he did, and he didn't high five them, so what? If your child's life is so dependent on, whether or not Fozzie Bear freaking high fives them at a parade, come on, then you need to do more as a parent. But isn't that strange?
Yeah, I'll have to look into that, man.
$25 million they want. And damn good and well that Disney's going to give them a cut. Disney's going to throw them some cash, so why not do it?
That's crazy.
Everybody looking for a handout.
That's crazy.
Everybody looking for a handout, buddy. I'm telling you. Isn't
hold on, man. It says this. I don't know how true this is. Hey, I'm just reading what's on here.
Read it up.
Don't take me for this. I'm going to keep posting this because this had me hot. We were on our way out to Sesame Place.
That's what it is. Not Disney. It's Sesame Street. Yeah.
And the kids wanted to stop to see the characters. This disgusting person blatantly told our kids no, then proceeded to hug the little white girl next to us. Then I went to complain about, let me get this mic out of my way, complain about it. They looking at me like I'm crazy. I asked the lady who the character was, and I wanted to see a supervisor. And she told me she didn't know. I will never step foot in Sesame Place ever again, and please feel free to repost this. Actually, run me my money back. So mad, cursing emoji. So mad I stopped the video, but it got me so mad when he blatantly told them no. Oh. Yeah, we'll have to do a little bit more research on that. That's interesting.
What possible reason would someone dress up as a Sesame Street character and then walk over to children and say, no, I'm not going to high five you?
I don't know. We have to look into that one, man.
Yeah. But I'm
curious about that.
But logically.
Yeah. Actually, that's.
Does that constitute $25 million? Or would you handle it like you did back in the day and go, well, I wasn't treated fairly here, so they'd lose my business?
Yeah. No, 25 million. That's, man.
You're looking for something. Come on, man.
I go make a claim.
Yeah.
I got a couple of claims. I got some claims you actually know about.
I know.
I'm just kidding, y'all, man. I don't. Yeah, man. That's interesting though.
It is. Yeah. The world is interesting right now.
It is.
There's a lot of shit going on. Man. It's just kind of blowing my mind.
You got me peaked on that.
Look into it.
I'll look into that.
Look into it.
Yeah.
I watched the video.
Yeah.
I watched the video, and it does look like like they go no, or whatever, but it's not like they were rude, bent down, told the kids no. Yeah. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Who came up with it because they're black idea? Did the guy bend down and go, no, I'm not going to high five you because you're black?
Yeah.
Come here, little white girl. I guarantee that is not how it went down.
It's not funny.
You know what I mean?
It's just delivery. That's not funny at all.
No,
the delivery. Yeah.
Yeah, but the situation is not funny. It's
no, it's not.
And what are you teaching your daughters now?
Yeah.
That now they're gonna, you're telling them.
Yeah.
See, because you're black, you're going to experience this. So you're pre-installing this alert system into this child, right? Yeah. Right. Just like if you're looking at a little redheaded kid and you're like, people are going to make fun of you because you got that red hair. Yeah. Now he's worried about it the entire time. And anytime somebody says something that he doesn't like or that hurts his feelings a little bit, he's going to think it's because he's a redhead. Yeah. Come on, man, quit.
Yeah.
Start building these children up and give them confidence. Yeah, give them a reason. Say, hey, man, you know what? Guess what you could be? You could be the first black 4-star general because you're a smart dude and you work hard. Yeah. Like, that's what we should be building up. Yeah. That's what we should be putting on the news. Yeah. I have not even heard about that.
No.
I didn't hear about that at all. When did that happen?
Man, I think it's actually about to transition over. But what I was going to say was I actually went to Air Force Academy. I think it was Father's Day weekend. And I read on one of the labels, I think it was a B-52. I think that's right. A bomber plane. And one of the little labels, they actually had, when was it? I think it was the first something star general African-American of the Air Force. And I was like, that's interesting, man. And I'm like, we're this far along and we're just now getting these, first people. And I'm like, what is this disconnect? You know what I mean? Does that make sense to you? Because I'm like, what is this disconnect to where what's happening to where it takes, not necessarily takes this long, but is it something that's never been strived for? Is it, but in my mind, the first thing it comes to in my mind is deprogramming and changing the narrative. And I've talked to you about this too, because I know a lot of people get upset with me about it, but I'm one of the hardest when it comes to black community. I don't want to get on that African American thing because I've seen where I've been. You've seen where I've been.
Yep.
You've seen even within the last couple of years of some of the awards I had.
Yep.
There was racism involved in it blatantly. And I'm just like, you know what? I could just get this, use it as, a stepping stone, accept the appreciation and, the notoriety of it and being recognized.
Yeah.
And just keep it moving. Or I could just turn into, oh, you know what? This is what I should have did. Same thing with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, and I talked to Christina about this a lot, and I'm like, I personally don't know where that line in the sand is because there is a lot of news programming, but there also has to be a lot of in-home reprogramming in a different direction.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well,
it has to be.
And if mom and dad are easily influenced, they're just going to pass on that influence to the child.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So, what I was going to say was, man, that's a thick one. That topic is a very thick topic.
It is too.
Way.
Well, and it's and I don't mean to say that I don't believe that there's that there's racism, and you know me, but somebody out there might not know. They look at me and think I'm white. So okay, whatever.
and we've talked about before. with your spouse and I'm like, but really though, you know what I mean? Because Christina's Hispanic and white, and I tell her I mess with her all the time. I'm like, you're a racist, and she's like,
right,
for real. I'm like, no,
I'm with a black man. Yeah, how am I racist?
I'm like, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah,
I'm like, I'm racist too. Like,
I think it's okay to dislike.
Yeah,
I really
okay
do.
To dislike things.
And it doesn't necessarily maybe have anything to do with the pigment in your skin. It might just be that you're kind of a dick. That you're, it might just be you're not likable, and it might just be someone who has the opposite skin color as you that doesn't like you. Doesn't mean that they're racist.
Yeah,
it just means that they don't like you. Maybe they're an asshole. Maybe you did nothing wrong, but they're just an asshole. Doesn't mean they're a racist. They're just an asshole.
It's just that simple. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow, we got deep on that real quick, didn't we?
First episode, I know.
We're gonna jump right in.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, but I don't know, man. I think there's a lot, and I can't say it enough because, I watch other podcasts. You know, I watch the shows that I watch. I research the things that I research, and of course, it's easy to have like a right now spark.
Yeah.
But it's like, what would it take to get the people as a nation to figure out whatever that ground is, man, for us to start moving again as a unit? You know what I mean?
Man.
What would it take?
Well, 9/11 happened and all of a sudden we were good for a couple months.
Yeah.
You know, I think adversity definitely needs to happen. I think people are, I don't know, man. Life really
takes work. You know what I mean? It takes work.
And it's really not that hard.
But it's not, though.
I think it's more difficult to have all this angst and anxiety and this animosity towards each other than it is to just fucking mind your business and treat each other kindly.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's really
far more work than what we're doing now is way harder.
Yeah. And I will say this. And I mean, you tell me what you think, man. And my opinion, it seems like ever since COVID, ever since everyone was able to go back out freely, everyone is overly aggressive for no reason now.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree with you 100%.
And I'm like,
well, yo,
are you good?
You had 2 years to be influenced by someone who really doesn't have a positive influence, by people that don't have positive influence, by media that doesn't have positive influence, by politicians that don't have positive influence. Yeah. You had 2 years where access to the outside world was at your fingertips or on your phone or whatever the case may be, and you were just inundated. And there's algorithms that say, oh, you agreed with that one? Well, then let me show you some of this one that's kind of close to it. And people just got pushed into, I'll admit it, I got overly political. Yeah. I got so political that I had people that I didn't even, that I loved, that loved me, just, shut me down on Facebook. I'm going to mute you for a little while. I'm going to quiet you up for a little while, Mike. I can't take it anymore. Yeah. Like, because every day I'd be on there fucking, just posting up opinions about this, that, or the other, and calling people idiots for voting for Biden. And then well, it had nothing to do with whether he was a Democrat or not. The dude had no policies. Yeah. The guy had nothing to offer that was going to be better. This Build Back Better shit. Yeah. How good are we right now? We're 2 years in. Are we better? Are we building anything? What's back? Well, I think
during COVID when you weren't bringing donuts.
Right.
To the kids, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was doing a lot of homework and shooting a lot of zombies with the kids on Call of Duty, man.
That's good. You stayed away from it.
I didn't care.
You stayed away from it.
You know what?
And that's the way it should be. That's what I should have done. Yeah. I got way too involved. I looked for something and I found it and I was like, I'm jumping on this.
I swear it, man. I'm just now, I kid you not, I'm just now catching up. It was even earlier this year. I was still almost writing 2021 and 2020 on some of my dates. Wow. And I'm like, bro, you got to snap out of this. And it was just like a month ago, I finally started catching up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm just like, it was like this big gap where 2020 just kept carrying over.
It is a strange time. Yeah. It is a strange time. Like I feel it too. Like I don't think we're back yet. Yeah. I don't think everything's gone back to normal or anything like that yet. Yeah. It's weird. Yeah. It's very strange. And I'm curious to see where it's going to go.
It's a different normal.
I think that this, unfortunately, this administration has caused a reason for us all to join together. Believe it or not,
if not anything else,
even though we've suffered and we're suffering with these gas prices and the economy and the food shortage that's on its way and all this other stuff that's happening, like I think that's going to bring us all together. And they say
I'm just trying to make sure we're doing good on time, man.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know. What does it say up there? 47 minutes?
Because I really want to bring this to people's attention, man. And I swear, bro, definitely finish your statement. I'm gonna look this up.
No, but I think that we're all kind of in agreement on one thing, and that's that the country is headed in the wrong direction right now. We've involved ourselves from the pulling out of Afghanistan. We've still got soldiers over there, and you're worried about some basketball player that's freaking broke the law in a foreign land that she knew was against the law, and she wants to. And before she left home, she was anti-American in some ways. I'm sure she wasn't 100% anti-American, but she wouldn't come out to the national anthem. She didn't think that it should be played at basketball games. She didn't want nothing to do with it. She was anti-American in some ways, right? Then she goes over there, right? Takes a little bit of THC in her little vape pipe, but gets busted.
I just heard about that.
So 10 years she's looking at. right?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Russia don't play that shit, dude.
No, they don't.
And you know this. She had been over there so many times previously, right? Because the women, the WNBA, they don't get to play all the time year round out here. There's not a full season or anywhere for them to do to make their money. They don't get paid nearly as much as the NBA players do. Whose fault is that? Not the men, not us. You gotta bring your own crowd, right? WNBA, you gotta bring us a reason to come buy your tickets. Anyway, so she goes over there knowing that this is against the law, even though she has a prescription in America for her THC, which, okay, that's not hard to do. I can go to a doctor tomorrow and say, hey, my lip hurts. Can I get some weed? He'll give it to me. But anyway, and then she breaks the law over there, gets thrown in jail, and then is all crying. Now, Biden's talking about trading the death dealer, right? The guy that we busted, that we hooked up, and he's in a United States prison right now for arms dealing. He was one of the biggest arms dealers, dealt in nuclear weapons, all kind. I mean, this guy he's called the dealer of death or some shit. You can look it up. I'm not sure exactly what his name is, but we're going to trade him for this basketball player. We're going to put this arms dealer back out in the world to deal some more deadly weapons, right? And you're complaining about an AR that shoots a 22 caliber projectile, right? but you're going to put this dude back out on the streets and then try to take my 9mm away or my AR away? Nah, doesn't make sense.
Victor Bout, Merchant of Death.
Merchant of Death. There it is. Yeah. Not the death dealer, the Merchant of Death. So that's who Biden is willing to trade for this basketball player, right? Because everybody's up in a tizzy saying, oh, and she's married to a female, so she's gay.
Lord of War.
Yeah, the Lord of War, right? Serving a 25-year prison sentence, which isn't enough in the beginning anyway.
No.
Right? That dude he's done. Yeah. Let's just put him in the chair, zap him up, and get rid of him. Right? we don't need to pay for him to be alive anymore, none of that shit. But that's who we're talking about trading for this Brittany, is it Griner? Brittany Griner, I think.
I don't know her last name, man. Don't make me lie to you.
Anyway, but I mean this is the kind of idiocy that we're dealing with right now. It's just crazy to me. I know we had a point previous to this.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. We got a little lost this out.
It's okay.
Oh, I think you know what? I think it was about. I wish we could rewind it. You know how imbalanced everything is. But you brought up the food plant.
Oh yeah, the food shortage that's going to happen.
Man, you know what?
Inflation, dude. You can't gas prices. Come on.
I wish I had counted this, but there have been. Let me see. I think it's actually at the end of this this thing right here. I think there had been like over maybe almost to 100, if not more, of food plants that have been destroyed this year or caught fire.
Yeah.
And there's been very little talk about it.
Well, it's no different than all the suicides that happen to be Clinton's friends. It just doesn't get talked about. It's obvious.
I think additionally, more than 2,000 fires occurred in agricultural grain and livestock. Yeah,
and refrigerated storage facilities.
Yeah.
Which could all include food processing operations.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
And 2,000 fires in what time frame? What does it say?
So 2019 fires all made.
In 1 year, 2,000 fires in food plants. Come on, man.
Yep.
And we're supposed to believe that that's just random,
We don't need food.
Wake up, man. Wake up, people. You gotta, and this is all just to control. It's all another aspect of controlling. You let them make you wear masks. You let them keep you in your house for 2 weeks to a month to whatever, 2 years almost.
To whatever.
Right? Slippery slope. Don't believe in it.
I don't know, man.
Don't pay attention.
Tell you what, people better start learning how to garden again if they don't know how to.
I got some stuff growing right outside.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you, canned food has an expiration date too.
Yeah.
If we really do come to, because there's been a lot of talk about a food shortage. There's been a lot of talk about it.
But there's been everything. They've talked about shutting down power grids.
Yeah.
Too, because you're running your AC too much because it's been so hot because of global warming. So now you got to buy an electronic vehicle. Wait a minute. Didn't you just say that my AC is draining out the power grid, but you want me to buy an electronic vehicle? How do we charge the electronic vehicle? And then, batteries? Okay, so we got to charge that off of the grid, but what runs the batteries? How do you get the batteries to, that's fossil fuels, that's coal, that's gas, that's, okay.
I actually, I think I told you this, man. I actually did and this was maybe a semester or two ago, I had to do a report on, I don't even remember what we were talking about, but, I think it was how do we get rid of waste and restore the planet, I think is what it was. And so one of the things that came up was electronic cars.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all making y'all cars, doing your things. I'm not hating, but I want people to be aware when you go super crazy over these cars, the one issue that kept coming up was how to dispose of the batteries.
It's a problem.
No one can find a healthy enough way because if you bury it, it destroys.
It's going to erode.
Soil. Yeah, it's going to erode. It's going to destroy soil
for
like years to come.
Yeah. Burn it.
You can't stockpile. You can't burn it. You can't stockpile it.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, I don't really know what you guys.
Why is solar power not a thing? Worldwide? Like
should be.
Yeah.
I personally think it should be.
Like I've got solar panels on the house.
Yeah.
But CSU still controls those. Like I have to go through their panel, their box, in order for my solar panels to. They'll still work on my house. I'm going to find a workaround. By the way, watch. I'll find it. Yeah. But they still want power to be controlled by them, so that you're not running off of them independently.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you can make an electronic vehicle, you can't make one made out of some solar panels that runs the car itself. You know what I mean? That's charged up by that itself. No, it's got to be electricity so that they can monitor that and you can pay for that electricity. There's all of these things that we could be doing to independently take care of ourselves. But who's stopping it? Government.
They got ice chests, solar panels. They have radio charged solar panel.
Everything.
Bro, like
if this little itty bitty solar panel that's this dang big can run the lights that guide my pathway
my cell phone
in my yard every day for a $2 thing that I bought
from Walmart
that lights up, you know what I'm saying?
My hands on.
That's got to be pretty cheap to run a car or whatever the case may be, right? So I mean,
there has to be a way.
We're just allowing ourselves to be just raped in the pockets every single day by a government that does not fucking give two shits about you. You know?
Yeah, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
starting to feel like Britney. They don't care.
Man, I don't know. Sorry. Oh no, I know. I don't know, man. There's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I mean?
It is a lot.
And that's why I said, thank you guys for absolutely for letting us introduce. But there's a lot of stuff we'll talk about, man. There's a lot of
and
stuff,
it's not going to be this heavy all the time.
Yeah, no.
We got to get into some heavy shit.
I don't really think this is heavy though, man. This is just, to me, my opinion. The reason I don't think it's heavy is because this is so much of this has become so normalized. What we used to know, my personal opinion, what we used to know as heavy doesn't really feel heavy anymore. It's almost like, that conditioning thing where you get so much crap that you get used to so much crap.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it takes something extremely bad happening for you to actually be like, oh, that was kind of bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe that's just me though, man. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I've kind of adopted this theory lately that I'm going to try to not let things affect me.
Yeah.
That don't affect me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah,
like, why am I putting all of this concern and care into things that absolutely do not affect my life?
Yeah.
Unless it's going to hit me down the road in some way, shape, or form, I don't care.
Yeah. And I won't say their name, but that's just like, you know what I mean? I'll tell you more about it later too, man. But there's, this organization that I'm working with, and they're helping me pair up with some things, man. They're all about, and I told you this earlier, everyone being included, no one being excluded, making and finding a way. And if there's not a way, what is this group of people? And that's how I know it's possible. What is this group of people? And I kid you not, Mike, man, I wish I could bring you in so you could see it, but it's like, what is this group of people willing to do? Or what ideas are they willing to come up with to make it so? Now, granted, everyone's not going to always be happy with everything. It's not possible.
No.
It's just not possible.
No.
You know what I mean?
This inclusion bullshit. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen to where,
everybody's going to be happy.
Everybody's just not going to always be happy, but they do what they can to find the best common ground to make, put everyone in this position of being able to progress and thrive and become the best version of themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why I respect this organization so much. And I'm just like, now, if they can influence that many people through one organization, right? What happens if multiple people adopt this type of mindset? You know what I mean? Because it's just like, and one of the examples I like to use is religion, because you know me. I'll tell anybody, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus Christ. I don't want to be referred to as a Christian. And people are like, well, but that's what a Christian is. And I'm like, but it's not though. Have you, people bandwagon. Oh, I heard this. And I'm like, have you ever looked up the origin of what Christianity actually
some of the most
from?
Frightful people you've ever seen in your life.
And I'm like, here's like the truth of
they
the
really
matter.
are the most dangerous, dangerous.
And that's the picture that's painted, right? And I'm like, I don't really care about the title because of that reason. I don't want to. I hate labels. You know what I mean? I hate.
You do you Black Tim? Do you?
I hate labels. Black Tim, right? I can't, and that's why I did that on purpose. I can't stand. We talked about this. My white friend Mike, my black friend. You know what I mean? I'm like,
why do you have to say white friend Mike?
I'm like,
black friend.
I'm like, I'm like, man, you should meet my buddy Mike, man. Like he's pretty dope, And people are like, Mike, they don't
immediately go, is he white or black?
Yeah, and I'm like,
because it's going to shape my opinion of him.
Yeah, I start telling people you look like a Ninja Turtle. Like he looks like Donatello. I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's like, even where that thing was derived from, it was actually used in a derogatory way to kind of slander people initially for believing in that name Jesus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And so just like I'll tell anyone, my mom, she's a minister, I love her. And we have some of these conversations and I tell her, I don't care what people believe in.
Yeah.
I just hope that you believe in something that gives you enough power and will to get out of the bed and go try to do something better or change something every day.
Yeah.
I don't care what you believe in.
Yeah.
Believe in what you want to believe in. Just don't let it consist of trying to blow people up and hurt people. You know what I mean? Like,
just don't find it on the internet or on TV or anything like that.
I mean? Like find your own way, man. Find whatever it is. Yeah. Find whatever it is that keeps you grounded, So that's, that's just me, man.
Yeah. I go by what's in your heart, man.
Yeah.
And I've told Lucian that. I've told Maydelia, my little niece that. I've told Tynan that his whole time growing up. Because Tynan asked about religion at one point too. And I was like, I'm not religious.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I don't think that there's not a higher power or that I think that there's not a higher power. Yeah. There is, absolutely. There's an energy up there somewhere. There's something out there that drives us, that wants us to be successful.
Absolutely.
But you've got to go with what your heart feels.
Yep.
And if you feel like Christianity speaks to you, get in it. You know what I mean? Yeah. If it doesn't hurt you or someone else,
do
go
it.
For it. Yeah,
do
absolutely. it. How's it gonna bother me?
Yeah.
Don't judge me.
Yeah.
Don't be telling me I'm gonna go to hell or whatever it is that you've created in your mind to be punished. Yeah, don't punish me for not believing what you believe.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm weird that way.
Oh no, hey, me too. Trust me. I just had a conversation and I was like, wait, because I think I don't want to get this wrong, but yoga is it Hinduism?
I believe so.
So I think so. I think it's Hinduism. And somebody said, well, don't you believe in God? I'm like, yeah. And they said, but you've been practicing yoga. I said, yeah, because it helps ground me. It helps me with flexibility.
Yeah.
I feel calm and peaceful when I leave. That don't mean I have to stop saying amen or going home and praying. I can go stretch out with a good group of calm people who just want peace.
Not if you're Christian. You're not allowed to do that.
I guess not. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to be my own little, whatever my religion is in my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to keep it as, I believe in God and Jesus Christ. You believe in what you want to believe in. Let's just be peaceful together.
Yeah.
Have a great time. You know what I mean?
There's millions, well, not millions, probably thousands, tens of thousands even, of gods that people have believed in over time. Right?
Yeah.
So what makes yours right? What makes his right? What makes his completely 100% the only way to go?
Do you remember this? We talked about this. This is 2020. I said, who knows how the course of all this goes? But let's say there comes this day where everything just powers down, right? And there is this,
hopefully,
this after situation, whatever it is, right? And we all come to understand that we all been fighting over the same person with a whole bunch of different names that were given by a whole bunch of different people.
Yeah, and who's to say it's even a person? Who's to say?
Whatever this
who's to
entity
say?
is.
Yeah, who's to say
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's energy. We know that.
Yeah.
We know that we have energy, right? Our bodies are made up of energy.
Oh, absolutely.
So what's to say that? Yeah, no,
We've been fighting over
we'll
a fart,
have
been fighting
we'll have
over a fart
whole-
cloud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fart cloud.
Fart cloud. We've been fighting over a fart
You
cloud.
fart now. We're fart cloud the whole time.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
get. We're going to get somebody on that. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I would love to get some opposing views who
yeah,
have some,
yeah,
have some really good views on that as well. But I think we're just about out of time.
Yeah.
That's going to be it.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to keep it around an hour every time, guys. Again, next week, I think I'm going to try to get Miss Carrie Bacon in the studio and have her on the podcast. Super, super interesting chick. She's a badass. She's a personal trainer. She was one of the American Gladiators. She played some pro ball in a couple of different sports. She's a cancer survivor, positive. She's a positive influence on all of these bodybuilding. Like she's insane. She's super cool, and I think she's probably got some really good stories that we'll bring to you guys next week. Thank you for letting us introduce ourselves to you, and hopefully you subscribe and stick around and check out our videos every week. Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see how interesting it gets, man. Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For sure. Yeah, bro.
Black Tim, Dropkick Mike.
Yeah, man.
Thank you guys.
See you guys
We're
next
out.
time.